Guys, do you like really big swords? And I mean massive swords. Do you like to swing around nunchucks like Bruce Lee back in his prime? Do you like playing characters that make an eye patch look sexy? Well, fellas, Naraka, Bladepoint may be the game for you. Fellas, I picked up this game this weekend and I gotta say, I'm in love. I've played a few melee-based PvP games and so many of them just don't get it right. This game takes a shinobi approach from the theme of the characters to all the utilities you can use. Hell, I'm getting some major secure vibes with this grapple, which by the way, is such a dope system here. Because one of the biggest complaints I've had with previous melee-based PvP games is normally when someone starts losing, they just run. But not in Naraka, as you can essentially grapple right up to them and yam the death. Now, what's interesting with Naraka is that you can actually customize your own champions. If you want to make them look dope, make them look dope. If you want to give them a horrifying face that would literally stun lock an enemy in battle, by all means, do that. Naraka even has creation contest winners, where essentially people vote up the best faces and then the top what the F face, which is hysterical. Now let's go over what exactly Naraka is trying to be. First up, Naraka Bladepoint actually has multiple game modes, all PvP related, one being the Bloodbath, where essentially it's just 16 players in like this arena style, where you essentially just go ham on each other and whoever has the most kills wins. You also have Bloodsport, which is a 1v1 game mode. You've got Shadow Surge, and then you have the Herald's Trial, which is actually a 60-player battle royale mode. Now, originally going into this, like most melee-based games, you would assume that it's just like a hack and slash, right? Nah, man. There is a combat triangle to this thing. Essentially, how you attack will result in the opposing enemy either being stunned, being countered, or even being flinch. And it wasn't until I really started to understand the different attack patterns here that I started to realize, whoa, you gotta think in this game, man. You can't just mash attack over and over, which even for somebody like me, that's a little too basic. Now, one of the greatest ways in which Naraka Bladepoint adds variety to the game is with the amount of champions it provides. Each one of these having lore tied to them, and that lore thematically synergizes with what their abilities actually are. And I gotta say, man, they look stunning. One of the newest champions here, though, is Wu Chen. And I hope I'm saying that right. But dude, I don't even know what this guy is holding. But it works, man. I won multiple games with just this guy. And I know, like, normally the newest champion is pretty hot, but this guy has got it going on. Now, something I like about this game, more than other PvP games, is the fact that you could take your skills and your builds outside of the matches themselves. Unlocking these glyphs inside of the talent trees is a way in which you can really amplify your hero, making them almost impossible to take down with the right combinations of ultimates, skills, and glyphs. Wu Chen here actually has this really cool combination of abilities here that he starts out with. One of them being these 5 spirit blades that he spawns that essentially just float right next to him. And you can deploy these at any time in the middle of a fight. And they do things like stun the opposing target, dealing damage. And it's a great way to follow up right afterwards. And if you even hold F, it actually deploys all of these blades at once. I actually like to use it more as like a stun ability, so I can just swoop in and finish my opponent off with my weapons. Now, the actual ultimate ability is this 50-meter radius yin-yang orb, which can last up to 150 seconds. Now, during this time, you have increase in damage reduction for both you and your allies, which you can imagine is extremely important in trio game modes. Now, to tack on even more variety, within the games themselves, you have a number of ranged weapons from bow, pistol, cannon, musket, and repeating crossbow, as well as a flame bringer. That's right, a flame bringer, and also a number of melee-based weapons. I think the ones I used the most was like the great sword. I used the spear a pretty good bit, and a little bit of the nunchucks as well. All of these weapons are really, really good. The ranged weapons aren't overwhelming though. So there's not like there's gonna be someone that's gonna be constantly popping you with shots, but it does help mid gunfights. It's supposed to be combined with your melee weapons, right? Like you go in, you do a sweep with one of your melee weapons, and if you gotta back off, you can still keep tacking on some small damage with, say, something like a pistol. And throughout the map, you find actual different rarities to each one of these weapons. You've got base common, blue rare, you then have purple, and of course gold, which substantially increases your potency. Overall, guys, this is a very easy game to get into, and I played for hours, which is why I was so glad we were sponsored by Naraka Bladepoint. Now, currently right now, Naraka is having a free weekend. That's right, from February the 18th through the 22nd, there is a free weekend going on, and until February the 25th, there's actually a sale going on for 30% off. And this is a game that is constantly being updated. They've got seasons. Matter of fact, they just launched season 3 with all kinds of new additions, from outfits to skins to weapons to new attack styles and games, and of course, the champion we just talked about, Wu Chen, which is an extremely potent champion. And what I like about this is that they're not stopping. stopping. They're continually updating this game, continually pouring content into it, and with a variety of different game modes present here, I really think if you are a PvP player and you've enjoyed previous melee-based games, this is one of the best you can play. Now, something I have to praise Naraka about is honestly its performance. This game performs extremely well. From the parkour to all the different heroes and skill abilities to the sheer amount of weapon arsenal that's present on the map, Naraka looks beautiful. I don't feel like I run into issues of like mid-fight where lag starts to take place and I'm like, yo, how did that guy's sword even touch me? I know there's a lot happening on the screen, but as you play more and more of this game, you start to understand how these fights take place, what you could have done to improve, where you could have used a focus strike or a regular attack or even a counter strike to win that duel, with that grapple hook being just the cherry on top. So guys, give this game a go. Try it out if you like. All I suggest is take time from the combats to just soak in the aesthetics. This is a beautiful game, and simultaneously, it's such a vertical game. This is not a game in which you are just stuck on one axis. No, if you want to go up into that tower, just grapple your way up there. If you want to sit on top of a roof, so be it. And whether you're playing with friends or as a solo player, I think Naraka will treat you well. So guys, down below will be a link to this game if you want to try it out. All I suggest is for my Titan mains, use the great sword. It'll treat you well. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.